Good day, everyone. Today, we will discuss about uh, the sociology. So, our objective at the end of the module, the student expected to compare and contrast the different views of the self. Second is the students will be able to examine the two components of the self. C. Uh, Describe the concept of the looking glass self and how it affects self-concept. So the last, the students will be able to explain the concept of social comparison and why is it important to human behavior. So that's our objective. So sociology. So what is sociology? Sociology is the study of human social relationship and institutions. So sociology subject matter is diverse, ranging from crime to religion, from the family to the state, from the divisions of race and social class to the shared beliefs of a common culture, and from social stability to radical change in whole societies. So unifying the study of these diverse subjects of study is sociology's purpose of understanding how human action and consciousness both shaped by surrounding cultural and social structure. So that is sociology. For the introduction of our topic, the social of the self is explored in many ways in which social situation influence one's view of self. The self is not created in isolation, and people are not born with a perception of oneself as good in sports, makeup artistry, dancing, or business. Such as perceptions are identified through observations or interactions with other people. So let's proceed to the sociological views of the self. We are focused on the self as a product of modern society among others. So pag-aralan natin ngayon kung paano yung ating sarili unti-unting binago ng ating uh, that's what we call the modern world or modernization. So with modernization, the self becomes delocalized. So when we say po delocalized, so to free from the limitation of locality, which is yourself is free to seek its own identity, defining religion, theological tradition, free from customary constraints, hence deviating from the traditional way of life. So, yung pagiging free natin sa kahit anong gawin natin, yun ang dahilan kung bakit uh, deviating from the traditional way of life. So, unti-unting nawala yung ating uh, tradition, yung ating kultura because of that modernization. So, stability of oneself identify is no longer based on pre-given traditional road definition of the self. So, sinabi ko na kanina, no, yung life natin is hindi na nakabase doon sa ating kultura, yung ating tradition, yung ating paniniwala because of that modernization. So, let's proceed. According to Clifford Geertz in 1973, he believes that the struggle for one's individuality is only possible in modern society where religio-theological traditions are gradually replaced by rational and scientific calculation. So, ito po si Clifford Geertz, naniwala po siya na itong struggle na to in our modern society, so ito yung dahilan kung bakit yung ating paniniwala, yung ating kultura, yung ating makadiyos na tradisyon unti-unting binago, no? Ang ating buhay ng mga adolescents dahil sa makabagong teknolohiya sa ating kasalukuyan. So that's the reason or the problem why our self become nabago. So modernization and the intimate personal affiliations are replaced by exceeding impersonal associations brought about by urbanized way of life. So, yung pagiging we person natin, nagiging I person natin na ngayon kasi nga doon sa modernization. So even we are live in rural area, so parang nakatira na rin tayo sa urbanized area because of our uh, yung ating uh, pag the way of living, parang nandoon na tayo sa city. So modernization or the destruction of the traditional way of life delocalize the self. This poses certain problem as. So the first problem is the newfound freedom threatens the very authenticity of the self. So this is the first struggle, or the according to uh, Gertz, this is the new freedom threatens the very authenticity of the self. So in terms of ourselves, so we are freedom to choose our own wants in finding our own uh, partner in life. So we are free to do anything in order to be happy. So kung ano yung gusto natin, yun ang dapat sundin, di ba? Yun na yun ang ating new generation. Hindi na tayo humihingi ng payo sa mga magulang. Kahit na pangit yung ugali, basta maganda, okay na yun. Hindi na tayo kumukuha sa mga magulang, sa mga friends, sa church natin, kung ano ang kanilang comments and advice, kung nakakabuti pa o hindi, yung babaeng pinili natin, kung karapat-dapat ba sa atin o hindi. So that's the real life of adolescents nowadays in modernization and using their freedom in choosing their loved ones. So that's the newfound freedom threatens the very authenticity of the self. So second is the alienation. So what is the alienation? So when we say alienation occurs when a person withdraws or becomes isolated from their environment or from the other people. So people who are show symptoms of alienation, so makikita mo yung tao na alienated, so because they will often reject loved ones or society. They may also show feelings of distance, of estrangement, including from their own emotions. So the act of process of causing oneself to become alienated from others. So to make someone feel that they are different and not part of a group. So that's we call the alienation. Yung isipin mo na hindi ka kabilang sa kanila, yung social sila, hindi ka makikisocialize sa kanila kasi nga you are expecting, you are feel that they are different and not part of the group. So that's the alienation according to Marx. So let's proceed to problem number 3. Objectification. So what is objectification? So when we say objectification of the body, so it represent by a concrete object when you take a vague abstract concept like love and give it a solid form, especially in a work of art or writing, you objectify it. That's the objectification. So for example, so may gusto kang babae pero hindi ka makasalita sa iyong nararamdaman. So anong ginawa mo? Ginawa mo? So sumulat ka kasi nga hindi mo kayang mag-confess sa kanya. So yourself is comparing to treat as an object. So doon na nakalagay yung salita mo sa papel. So hindi na ikaw yung mismo yung nagsasalita. So for the medical practice, for example, so self-objectifying behaviors can conclude but are not limited to, like excessive mirror looking, frequent selfies, critiquing one's appearance in the reflection and photographs, and comparing oneself to images in the media and other women. So yung sarili mo, palagi kang nakatingin sa salamin, palaging nandun ka, kasi nga, yung sarili mo, nakabase na doon sa object, doon sa salamin. So, makikita mo, ang ganda ko talaga dito sa salamin, ang gwapo ko talaga dito sa salamin. So, yourself is treat as an object. So, yung sarili mo, nakadepende na sa object. So, yung ating mga adolescents ngayon, in this new generation, gusto nila yung lagi silang maganda, sexy, pugi, pagdating sa TikTok or sayawan, or what we call the social media. So, para madaling, marami ang mag-likes. So, yun nga ang dahilan. So, hence, they apply kahit ano-anong pangpaganda. Some of them, they are taking medicine in order to be good looking on camera. So, that's the reason why na ang ating adolescents ngayon, yung sarili nila, nakabase na doon sa object. So, that's what we call the objectification. So, because of the modern decision. So, the fourth is the dehumanization of the self. So, what is dehumanization of the self? So, can occur discursively, for example, in idiomatic language, that likens individual human being to non-human animal. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, ito yung mga tao na gumagaya ng mga hayop na may nakaparihan ng tunog ng tao. So, for example, yung friends mo, humihingi ng tulong sa iyo, na tulungan mo siya sa kanyang assignment, pero anong ginawa mo? So, bigla mo na lang sabihan ng nye. So, ganun. So, yung dehumanization of the self, like verbal abuse, erasing one's voice from discourse, in symbolically, like, for example, in imagery. So, in physical naman, like chattel slavery, physical abuse, refusing eye contact. So, according to the research in psychological science, however, suggests that we can dehumanize ourselves. So, paano natin dehumanize ang ating sarili? So, sa pamamagitan ng setting into motion a cyclical process through which performing antisocial behavior causes us to view ourselves as less human, leading in turn to further antisocial action. So, yan po ang magiging yung ating sarili, magiging dehumanization tayo sa ating self because of hindi natin bigyan ng maayong ng mabuting pakikipagkapwa sa ating kapwa-tao. So, let's proceed to the solution. What is the solution of this following problems? So, for the individual to discover the true and authentic part of himself or herself, to realize his or her potential, there is a need to abolish repressive social content. So, yung gawin natin, so sirain natin yung mga bagay na nakakasira sa ating pakikipagkapwa, yung socialization natin sa ating kapwa-tao in modern decision. So, that's all. So, thank you for with me in a little time. So, I am Ralph Alti. Thank you very much.
I proceed. One self-necessary fiction. Self-necessary fiction is create a meaning out of the chaos in lived experience. They are formulations about what feelings and behaviors mean at a given time. One's experience can be organized into a coherent and inclusive story, but that story cannot be broadened. Firstly, one needs to define what a self is. To date, no one has been able to determine a precise definition. Merely enumerable subjective opinion derived from feelings, belief, and external notion based on what was being heard, read, and remembered of this occasion. What we each have learned from other sources, the many psychological, psychiatric theories, innumerable books, other people's opinions, the various media, etc. Even if we could establish an acceptable definition, it remains a linguistic correlation and not the lived experiences we each have our own experiential lived, most of which is non-verbal. In various differing situations, we humans act differently. So in talking and acting to a child, a lover, a friend, or an authority figure, we move from one self to another, and according to the situation at hand. Just as when we get anger, feel sad, hurt, depressed, or fall in love, we move from one state of experience to another, and because we do this every day for our lives, we take this shifting to be norm. And for most folk, it is, but it means there is no fixed self, but rather an host of selves that come and go according to mainly as a result of the many and various responses to external situations. In other words, the effect is not unlike a stimulus response, either positive or negative, that drives us from one state or self to another. Now, we are going to the next topic on our report. And the third is postmodern self. The postmodern self is fragmented and centered with a kind of emotional flatness or deafness. Therefore, the postmodern thinkers will be frequently describe knowledge streams and value system as sociology this condition, framing them as product of political, historical, or cultural discourse and hierarchies. These thinkers often view personal and spiritual needs as being best fulfilled by improving social conditions and adopting more fluid discourse. In contrast, the modernism, which places a higher degree of emphasis on maximizing progress and which generally regards the promotion of objective truths as an ideal form of discourse, and it would be
Hi, I'm Ralph Galarosa Alti from the course of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, Section B. Thank you guys.
I'm Angelica G. Abunales, Basic Education 1B.